In the show is a sort of chronological grouping of cups that I've made over the years. Probably I've sold more cups than anything else, both as parts of dinnerware sets, but I would say 90% of the time on the individual level. Somebody will buy a cup or a pair of cups. Over the years, you can see the progress in my cups. The first ones are kind of halting, a little heavy, and then as time went by, I started playing with the shapes and trying different things on the cups. One of the things that's sort of interesting about cups is, first of all, you want them to function as a cup. You want them, like in the case of the teapots, to have a nice heft, to feel right in your hand, and so forth. But what I've discovered with people over the years is that they're always sort of looking for their cup. They want that cup as a personal relationship in some cases. That sounds a little silly, but they want the cup that when they wake up in the morning or during the workday, when they're holding on to it, there's something going on that makes them, there's a feeling of comfort or of, a connection perhaps. Sometimes a cup is a remembrance of a person or a place. And so, the cups that I make, I play with them a lot in terms of shape and glaze surface and so forth. And some of them get pretty wacky, but one of the things that I find interesting is they almost always find a home. It's at the end of the year, even my craziest cups during the year have moved on and are in somebody's cabinet or on their table with, tea or coffee in it right now. So I enjoy making cups. They've paid quite a few bills, but that's sort of incidental to the whole experience of making cups. And, in the show, I enjoy just go from cup to cup to cup and kind of see the progress, see my development, my evolution as a potter, and also all the different things that happen on the surface, because I think that's what people do when they drink their coffee is, they're this far from the cup and they're looking at the details on it very close up. And they're, in their own little world sometimes enjoying whatever it is that they see. Quite often, nothing that I intended, but that's part of the magic of it. One of the nice things about being the potter who makes the cups, and my wife Karen discovered this when I sort of tempted her with this one time, was I said, come on down and help me unload the kiln, because the day before she had said, why do we have so many pots? And we just have too many. There's no more room. She wasn't complaining. It was just sort of an observation, especially when we merged our collections. And I said, well, help me unload the kiln. And as we're unloading, there's, this cup or this bowl comes out, or she goes, I'm going to set this one aside for a little bit. And by the time we were done unloading the kiln, there was about half a dozen or 8 pieces that she had set aside. And they are in our cabinets now. So that's the relationship we have with cups.